You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5. Welcome back to the weekly Betoota Advocate Bulletin. You're joined by the usual suspects in the shape of myself, Clancy Overell, editor of the Betoota Advocate, Errol Parker, editor-at-large. Hello, Errol. How are you?
Good, Clancy. How you been, mate?
I'm not doing too bad. I'm enjoying the winter chill, but it's about to get a whole lot fucking colder out here. How are you, Wendell Hussey, the newsreader, the Diamantina Shire's favourite newsreader, and traffic report expert?
I'm well, thanks, Clancy. Can't complain on a Friday afternoon. Should be a good weekend up here in the Diamantina. Now, we're going to start off with some political news, and the Prime Minister has given Andrew Laming a fidget spinner this week to try and prevent further sexual harassment allegations.
Yes, Andrew Laming, the disgraced federal politician from Brisbane, caused a few eyebrows to be raised this week after he tried to blame his unsavoury behaviour on his ADHD. The Prime Minister has refused to sack the weirdo MP, but has announced a new strategy to try and manage him.
I wonder why he wouldn't sack him. It could have a lot to do with the fact that he would lose the balance of power, be forced into a minority government, likely lose the seat in a by-election. So the issue of accountability for elected officials accused of sexual harassment is off the table at this moment. That aside, Morrison's now given Laming a couple of shiny new fidget spinners to try and stop him from upskirting waitresses until the next election.
Well, don't you think it's a bit funny how, as soon as he started doing his own research into this AstraZeneca vaccine, all of these allegations...
What else is in the news today, Wendell?
Well, we've got another story from our national leader. Scott Morrison has been forced to break the news to Jenny that unfortunately the overgrown lawn at Kirribilli House is a state issue.
This is classic from the bloke in chief as the debate recharges over who should be doing what in regards to quarantining returning Australians. The Prime Minister has, as he's done in the past, sought to keep reminding voters about exactly what is and isn't his job and what he can hand over to the states, which is just about everything he faces criticism for. Now, he's also made a point of pushing the responsibility of mowing the lawns at his taxpayer-funded residence onto the states as well.
Yeah, and Bronte Scotty said after Jenny had been nagging him about the lawns getting away on him, he was forced to remind her that keeping the grass down is actually the responsibility of the states. And his hands are tied on this one, even if there is a mower sitting in the garage ready to go. Well, I'll tell you what, they must have turned on that 5G at Kirribilli if that grass is growing that quick.
Particularly at this time of the year.
Mate, I'm telling you.
Okay, one of the more overreaching conspiracies you've come up with lately. Errol, 5G is now responsible for grass growing faster.
Could be something in it. Now, over in the United States of America, gun enthusiasts are outraged as Joe Biden has placed restrictions on surface-to-air missiles.
Yes, under these revolutionary constitution-tampering new rules, those with a history of psychiatric episodes who are currently incarcerated or who have previously been incarcerated for violent firearms offences or who are under the age of 10 will no longer meet the criteria required to own a maximum of 3 surface-to-air missiles, also known as SAMs, at any given time.
This is Howardism all over again. We spoke to Gus Bronco. He is the outrage coordinator for the NRA, and he said it might seem like a small step, but it has huge ramifications for the right to bear arms. He said, when our forefathers wrote the Second Amendment in 1791 about, quote, the right to bear arms, it was clear they were thinking of the Raytheon FIM-92C Stinger with its 3-kilo annular blast fragmentation warhead travelling at 750 metres per second towards a mounted cavalry unit or a 3-mast wooden warship. Anyway, this is a disgusting attack on everyday citizens of the great nation of the United States of America.
Now, Dane Silk agreed with him in the comments section of our article online. He said, who amongst us doesn't wish they had SAMs every time the wanker up the road flies their drone around, or the police for that matter? You'll pry my A10 Warthog from my cold, dead hands. So I respect the right of my compatriots to keep missiles that they may keep in check. A militarised society is a polite society, he reckons.
Well, mate, I'll tell you what, if Howard didn't take away my SKS, I would have really put it to good use with this vaccine rollout. I mean, you just see what they're doing to children and our old people and our vulnerable. They're just taking them and they're just injecting
News from Betoota, and rural nightclub patrons have respectfully waited until Kaysan finishes before punching on.
Yeah, a bit softer in this story. I guess we should go back to entertaining the sheep. Yes, it's great to see some more common decency in the world, isn't it? You know, I think it's great.
Certainly is, Errol. This heartwarming display of community took place down in our Roma Hills nightlife precinct over the weekend when all the sauced-up locals patiently held their balled-up fists until the last plane out of Sydney was really gone. One of the patrons down there, Bodine, he said to us, "It's just out of respect for the venue, for Barnsey, for us as people." Dead set, though. Look at that cunt staring at my missus over there.
Well said, Bodine. Now we're going to wrap up with some sports news, and George Christensen has quit politics for heavyweight boxing. He's called out Paul Gallen for a Thriller in Manila rematch.
Huge news for the member from Manila who has revealed that he's going to give up trying to win votes by posting conspiracy content on social media in an attempt to go viral. This husky northern lifelong bachelor who spent his entire political career lobbying for the sugarcane and coal industry says politics is broken. You can't achieve anything anymore. And he wants out.
Well, mate, George is married now, and you should know that considering he's the godfather to your third oldest daughter. But we'll move on. And he wants to start the next chapter in with a heavyweight bout against the G-Train, something he hopes will live up to Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier going toe-to-toe a few decades before him in the Filipino capital. Gallen is yet to respond, however, to the formal call-out, but fellow commentators on Channel 9 frequently reference, if there's money, he's probably keen to do the dance.
Let's get it on. I'm sure George will have some good connections to sort out ring girls for that bout.
Well, hopefully Gallen coward punches him like he's well known for doing to innocent Queenslanders who were looking in the other direction and therefore banning closed punches in State of Origin forever.
It will never be forgotten.
Never be forgotten. 8 in a row, we won't forget that either.
And that is all we have got time for. We hope you enjoyed our coverage of all the big regional stories. Look forward to having your company again next time. Goodbye.
Hooroo.